Hi, Kamala.
Hi, how are you?
You
remember Karen Ocamb?
I do remember you. Of course I do. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You're the influential one.
Oh, well, we all are.
So tell me what you think about what's happening with DOMA now. As you know, the First Circuit in Boston just ruled against Gill in the Gill case. So tell me what you think is happening with DOMA, and then we'll talk about Prop 8.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, as Attorney General and long before, I have been unequivocal in my not only support but in my effort to do everything we can to make sure all people have a right to marry, and so that is why obviously we did not participate in defending Prop 8. Because on its face, in my opinion, it was unconstitutional. And as we go forward, I think we are seeing, slowly but surely, the rest of the country started, and through its courts and through its legislatures, starting to understand that this is fundamentally it's a civil rights issue. It's just such a basic civil rights issue, which is that we have a class of Americans in this country that we treat as second-class citizens on these issues. And it is just fundamentally unfair. It goes against the very founding principles of our country. 1776, we said all orange should be treated as equals. And so that's what this issue has been about. It's why we have all been relentless in terms of our fight. And I think we're starting to see the fruits of that labor slowly but surely unfold as not only the courts take note, but also the President of the United States coming out from the highest office in the land, making it very clear that this is a civil rights issue.
As you know, there was an initiative, Amendment 1 in North Carolina, that was passed that went way beyond just the definition of marriage between one man and one woman. There are a number of other initiatives that are happening around the country this year as well. Would you encourage other attorney generals in those states to come out in opposition to those initiatives, just as you did with Prop 8?
I think that being the Attorney General of any state is a job that is about pursuit of justice and protection of the constitutional values upon which our country was founded. And for that reason, I have been vocally and adamantly opposed to anything that would compromise the constitutional rights of all of our people, including our LGBT community. I would encourage other attorneys general to do the same. I think I absolutely believe it's just the right thing to do.
One final question. Citizens United.
Yes.
Have you joined other attorneys general in calling for a reconsideration of Citizens United?
Yes. In fact, California, and I just signed off on it a couple of weeks ago, we are absolutely part of the leadership of attorneys general calling on the review of Citizens United is something that really does violate, we think, some of our fundamental notions of due process and fairness. So.
And what about, I'm sorry, I do have one more question.
Yeah. You're following.
The NAACP has been leading the charge, trying to point out that the Republican Party has been steadily trying to erode the Voting Rights Act, especially now in Florida and Michigan and some of the other states. Have you lent your voice? Are you doing anything to help those states, push back against those efforts?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I have a long-standing commitment to doing what we need to get done to make sure that all voices are heard. And when you talk about the fundamental right to vote, that is one of the most important and most symbolic of that notion, which is allowing each person to participate in this democratic process with an equal voice. And any measures, any systems, any protocols that dissuade certain populations from voting have to be called into question and they have to be challenged. There's no question about that.
Right. I'm concerned about our LGBT people who might be afraid that by trying to vote they'll be outed and lose their jobs.
Yeah, no, that's right. And that has historically been the challenge on this issue is we once had a time, not very long ago, when certain populations, including African Americans, including women, were not allowed to vote. But we have increasingly, over the years after we got beyond that, seen systems in certain states and in certain municipalities where the deterrence factor was so real that those same populations did not vote because of a fear of some greater harm, and we have to be vigilant about that.
I would not be standing here if people did not live and die in courageous fight to defend everyone's civil rights. And when I stand here and receive the award and participate in the parade, it is surely in the spirit of celebration, but also with full awareness of the need to continue to fight until we do everything that is necessary, not only in the state of California, but in these United States, to ensure and guarantee that all people will be treated with dignity as equals. Thank you very much.